Today's video is kindly sponsored by Squarespace. Good morning, friends, and welcome to another installment of the Dissertation Diaries. Today is the beginning of a week in my life working on my second chapter of the dissertation, which happens to be the first chapter that I'll be writing. I got up in the morning and did my journaling and went for a quick workout at the gym before coming back and getting started on a full day of dissertation work. I have been really struggling with getting words on page, but slowly I'm building momentum, and this video shows the ebbs and flows of that process. But in the afternoon I had some meetings. Okay, so we now have a date, which is wonderful. Have we heard from them about booking the room? Okay.
People that have got like mini check-ins and things like that, so there'll be someone at the desk for us to like hand the key over like later on.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's anything that we need to do that's like going to do this like huge enrollment, but I think just keeping up with posting about it is the way to go. Everyone on here is so stylish today. All right. This is my fourth cup of matcha of the day. And, you know, at least it's not coffee. Show all you wonderful people that come into the writing sessions with me. So if you guys, would you mind doing a little wave? Thanks, friends. The one thing that I would say has been most crucial for my writing practice and for helping me build momentum is having these accountability sessions, whether it's the writing group for Accepted Society or hanging out with friends on Zoom. I find this process of doing a PhD quite isolating, especially intellectually isolating, because even though I have my partner and I have other friends that I hang out with and spend time with, I really need to be around people that understand the research and the process of the research sometimes, and having this space has been so important for my progress, and I'm just really especially grateful to Accepted Society and to people like Katie, Chanel, and Kate, who have been my study buddies throughout this process. And now for a quick message about the sponsor of today's video, which is Squarespace. Squarespace is an online website builder where you can create and edit a website from scratch or using a template with no coding experience necessary. With features which allow you to customize fonts, colors, and add a variety of blocks, images, and videos, you can make your website entirely your own. And I've used Squarespace for about 5 years to operate my personal website as well as my online businesses, and here's just a small glimpse into how I use Squarespace to showcase my digital brand coaching services and embedding links to my videos and courses. With Squarespace, you have access to comprehensive analytics and e-commerce tools, making creating a website and an online business seamless. If you're interested in checking out Squarespace for yourself, go ahead and use the discount code in the description below for a discount on your website subscription or domain. Now let's head on back to the video. Good golly, Miss Molly, I got so much writing done during the writing group today. That was my most productive writing group session to date. I got 936 words written, and I finally feel like we are moving. I know I keep saying that. It feels like every little step slowly is building momentum. It feels like I'm on the train track, like going up the hill, but we're slowly chugging along. And we're making our way to some degree of speed. Oh, such a good session. I am so happy with the development of my argument, and also there are places where I know my prose are not as tight as I want them to be. I know I'm being a little repetitive in places, but I am just trying to get words on paper as they're coming, and this is something I've been really bad at in the past. I am someone who edits as I write, and it gets me into trouble, but we have words on paper. I'm just so grateful to the members at Accepted Society and the writing group. The writing group has gotten so much bigger. We started out and there was only like 5 people that would join, and now we've got like, I think like 15 people that will join the sessions and come and work together, and it's just so wonderful. And It's a little bit different than our normal study sessions because the study sessions are just silent with the Pomodoro method, whereas the writing group, we meet at the beginning, we do a check-in, and then we also check in with each other at the end. And it's just so cool getting to hang out with the same group of people and see how their research and their writing is coming along. And I love this YouTube channel for being a way for me to track my own progress, but it is really nice to also do it in community with other people. And so I'm just really happy that we have the writing group, and it's just been such a good experience, and I got so much work done today. Okay, I need a little bit of a brain break. I also consumed like 5 matchas today, which in all fairness is like so much better than drinking a ton of coffee. But as you can see, I'm a little buzzing. And I should probably stop drinking caffeine, but probably not going to. I have a work call in about 10 minutes. It should only take about 30 minutes, I would say. And then I'm probably gonna take a break for dinner and do a little bit of reading, and then I will come back to it. But today is a good day. And the website will definitely change to be more so service provider focused, and I'm doing like brand photography that is intended to be more professional, so. I've received a lot of messages recently asking how it is that I actually enjoy reading for fun when I'm doing a degree that requires so much reading as part of my profession. And the answer is that fiction, and especially fantasy fiction, is my escape. And over the years, I've always tried to find what it is that actually recharges me. And I do find that watching YouTube videos or watching Netflix or scrolling on my phone may offer some sense of relief momentarily. It doesn't recharge, and it doesn't give me that space to unplug personally. And so I find my way of unplugging by escaping into a book, and I've been really enjoying this process. Then after about 45 minutes of reading my novel, it's time to get back to work and get into some reading for my research. I start with Leon Higginbotham's work on the law of slavery throughout the North American colonies, and as you can see, quickly switch over to White Over Black by Winthrop Jordan. These are books that I cite quite often because they're quite seminal in discussing the development of race within the law and racial categorization. And what I'm looking for here is not necessarily the text itself, but the footnotes. And this was a long day. As you saw, I got started at around 8:30, and by this point I've been working all day and was just feeling quite drained. And as you'll see later in the vlog, I think this day actually had negative ramifications for the rest of the week. And this is why I promote not pushing yourself and working, from sun up to sundown on your research, because it is really intellectually taxing, and I was definitely feeling it the next day. Good morning, beautiful people. I am up and having a little bit of a slow start this morning because my partner had some calls, and I just find it so impossible to write when somebody else is talking and just difficult to focus. And so I am getting to it. I need to probably finish up the introduction today, if not move on to the next section, because at the moment the introduction is just sucking up a lot of my brain space, and there is so much more that needs to be in the chapter. And I tend to write really long introductions. That's probably some context that would be helpful. I tend to write introductions that take up like a solid quarter of the actual chapter, which is probably not the way to do it, but I just feel like there's so much groundwork that I have to do in order to set the stage for what the chapter is going to cover. But I need to get into the process of lawmaking and the relationship between the Virginia legislature and the Maryland legislature. I have to find a way to actually write about that. I find it so much easier to just talk about it out loud. But we're getting there. I just feel a little out of sorts today. But we're gonna buckle down. We're gonna get work done. And it's gonna be fun. So let's buckle in and get to work. What's funny is I know exactly what it is that induces my anxiety. And I know exactly what I need to do to like stop the trend of spiraling. But what do? I keep doing the thing. I can't get, every time I look at myself in the reflection of this mirror, all I see is like my little pimple patches. Oh man. I have made progress. We now have essentially a third, if not like a quarter, of the chapter written, which is a big feat. However, I keep rewriting this one paragraph and it's driving me freaking nuts because I need to figure out a way to make like 3 major points in the introduction about what the chapter is going to cover. I did work on one of the other sections, but now I come back to the introduction and I'm just agonizing over the narrative structure and how things flow. So there is actually quite a lot of writing that has been done, and I have a pretty significant portion of one of the sections written out, but I'm having trouble moving past this one paragraph and it's driving me a little batty. So I'm gonna walk away from the dissertation for a little while. I still need to get more writing done today. Like, this cannot be where I finish, but I think I'm driving myself a little nuts if I keep going at it. So I'm gonna go sit on the couch and read my silly little fantasy novel to get my mind off of it. I'm not gonna go scroll on Instagram. I blocked all of my apps because one thing that I tend to do whenever I am in this state of frustration is that I'll just distract myself by scrolling on social media and doom scrolling, and that is not helpful right now. What I need to do is just step away, take a little breather, go do something different, and then come back to it. But I need to not do stuff that's going to get distracting. We're making progress. I'm just really frustrated at the moment. But yay. Good morning, friends. It is now Wednesday, and this is the day that my partner goes into the office, which means that I am left to my own devices, and that means that I order Joe and the Juice. I love their tunicado sandwich. It's like one of my favorite things in the entire world. And I am working on the dissertation all day. I would love to do some work for my digital brand accelerator course, and so if I really need like a psychological break from the dissertation at some point, then I can work on that. But for right now, we are working on the dissertation. Oh, so good. And I think I might actually do a study with me. I haven't filmed one of those and gone live in a really long time, and I used to really enjoy doing them, mostly because I get to communicate with you all and use the chat. And it's kind of similar to the way that I use the study sessions for Acceptance Society in order to break things up a little bit. But I think I can actually do both. I'll do the study with me and start that at 9, and then still join the Acceptance Society study session at 10. So I can technically do both. It's just so good. So good. Okay. I am gonna go ahead, wrap up admin for the morning, and jump into dissertation. And now for a little note about productivity. Productivity, especially as a PhD student, is not about words on paper. It is about the process and continuously coming back to it and trying to suss out how it is that you are making your analysis and how it is that you want to make an intervention in your field. And that is incredibly frustrating. I have been reading and working on the subject for 6 years now, and it still feels like I am learning new things every single day, and I'm trying to piece together all of the threads, and it's quite exhausting. And I get comments quite often asking about the measure of productivity. How many hours did I work? How many words did I write? And this is just a kind reminder that so long as you showed up, so long as you made time, so long as you thought through the process and made space for your research, that you are making progress. And even if I need to sit on the couch for 30 minutes to eat my lunch and to escape into a fantasy novel and to get some comforting pats from my pup, I am doing the work that needs to be done in order to show up as my best for my dissertation. And this is as much a reminder for you as it is for me. Okay, I've had about enough of my dissertation as I can handle for the next couple of hours, so it's time to make some food. There's a recipe that my friend Becca made in one of her videos. It's from Ebbs the Nutritionist. I'll have the post linked down below, but I've made it before, and it's got like peas and leek and sea bass, and it's delicious. So I'm gonna go ahead and make up a bit of dinner and also do some meal prepping for breakfast by making some chia seed pudding and avoid my dissertation. This is what we call productive procrastination. morning, friends. It is Thursday. I did not film for the rest of the day yesterday because I did sit down to work on my dissertation and had a mini meltdown, I would say. I just keep getting really in my head about the writing. It's not like I haven't gone through this process before. I wrote a thesis for undergrad. I wrote my dissertation for Oxford. I feel like I might actually benefit from going back and watching some of the vlogs from when I was writing my dissertation for Oxford, because that was a tumultuous time and things are certainly better under these circumstances, but it just feels so ominous trying to put together something that my advisor is going to read and my committee is going to read, and I know it's going to go through edits and I know it's not going to be perfect. I know that it's going to come back with a lot of feedback, but I just feel rather insecure about it. And so last night I just hated it. I just hated all of it. I wanted to scrap the entire thing. I just wanted to start over. And I did a little bit of work, but then I decided that I probably just needed to call it a night because I was just spiraling. And today I feel much better. I decided that today I would, get dressed, put on makeup, go into this like it is a real work day, and that hopefully that would help put me in the right mindset. And I definitely feel better about it. And so I am going to join the Acceptance Society study session. Kate's running the morning session today. Just need some community and some accountability, and then I'm gonna get to writing. And I'm sorry I didn't record last night. I kind of pick and choose when it is that I share the in the moment breakdown of when I'm feeling like things are really rough. And last night it just felt like I needed to process those feelings on my own. And I shared a little bit about it on Instagram, and I'm, sharing it in retrospect with you now. But this process is just tough, and I'm not making as much progress as I want to be. And it's also difficult being a person who is online and is sharing this process, because so many messages that I get are like, how many words did you write today? And how long did you work on your dissertation today? And how much do you dedicate to your PhD? And it just feels like there's this continuous measuring stick that the internet places against my productivity, or that I internalize as the internet measuring my productivity. And that can be really difficult. There aren't many examples of creators online who are doing humanities degrees and who share more so of the process. I know like Carson does. She primarily makes TikTok videos, but she also just started making YouTube videos, and she's doing a literature degree, and so it's similar. And then I was talking to Katie about this yesterday because she's doing a fashion studies degree, and she asked how much of my writing is description. And I said that's kind of hard to answer because I'm describing the evolution of legal language, but it's not like I'm discussing the material makeup, or I'm discussing the visual components of a thing or the feeling of a thing. And I think that's what's making the writing quite challenging. And I imagine this is quite similar for literary students that are using text in order to write up this analysis. But the challenge is that I'm not, for example, like describing the social history of this thing. I'm really describing the actions of lawmakers and how it is that they're responding and shaping social change in colonial Virginia and colonial Maryland. And honestly, talking about this out loud actually helps quite a lot, but it's just a process. I'm really struggling with it, and every time I read somebody else's work, I just feel like I don't know how to add anything, and we're just gonna get past that today. One of my favorite TV shows is Scandal. It's a little odd rewatching it as an adult and also like post 2016, post 2020, but there's this one scene where Olivia and Cyrus are talking, and I'll just insert the clip. Okay, I can't actually use the audio for copyright purposes, but basically she's telling him to stop being a little bitch baby. We are going to write our dissertation. We are going to make it through. And if anybody wants to know how it is that I motivate myself to like get stuff done, I think about that one scene all the time. Productive couple of hours of writing, and I now need a brain break. I got through this one section that I was really struggling with because I'm trying to discuss how there's these two acts in Virginia and in Maryland that look on their surface like they are opposing law. And what I'm trying to argue is actually it's not. They both employ the same legal logic, and if you actually study the entirety of the code, it actually demonstrates more continuity than rupture. And just trying to find a way to say that in a way that actually sounds intelligent. And also, for some reason, I just feel like I'm writing a bit repetitively, but also maybe too concisely. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I just feel like I'm not actually writing as many words as I should. But I think that's going to come in this next section, because the next section I have to do a lot of describing the nature of the House of Burgesses in the first couple of years and the laws that they enacted. And so I think there will be more space to ruminate and add additional words. I am not done working for today. I just needed to walk away from my computer for a little while. So I am gonna read my book. I'm so close to being done. And this one has been gripping. This might be my favorite out of the Throne of Glass books so far. But it's been a good day. And it's not over yet. So it's gonna take a little bit of a breather. And then we'll come back to dissertation, essay crisis, and make some more progress. Because it feels like I wrote a lot of pages, but I did not. Go ahead. And now for a little letter from me to you. I think the thing that's the most important is to show up as best you can. And your best today may not look like 100%. It may look like 20. It may look like getting out of bed and facing up with your research. It may look like writing 1,000 words. It may look like returning to the literature. But I just want you to know that I'm here with you, I'm cheering you on, and that this process is really difficult. But every single time you put another foot forward is a step in the right direction. And this vlog, I think, is just indicative of these little ebbs and flows where we make progress, and that progress can look slow, it can look quick, and it will vary from day to day. But the important thing is that every single day of this video, every single day of writing my dissertation, I am giving my best. And I can see you giving your best as well. So thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for supporting me always. And we're going to get this chapter done. It's going to get submitted eventually, and you will have been there with me for the process, and for that I am very grateful. So thank you so much for watching this video, and thank you again to Squarespace for sponsoring. If you would like to check out Squarespace for yourself and get a discount on your website or domain, then go ahead and click the link below. And with that said, it is time to close out the vlog. I will see you next time, friends. Goodbye.